Okay, let's do this. Hello, good afternoon. This is me from a few hours after the 5K turkey trot on Thanksgiving. I had a pretty fun morning, so I kind of just want to recap how it all went down, how I did, how I felt, and what's next. And while it's all fresh in my mind, and so here it goes. So my game plan going into this 5K was to break it down into four major segments. So the first portion was the first K. My goal there was to not go out too hard, not get sucked out with the heroes of the turkey trot and the local 5Ks who go out way too hard and they fade. I think I've accomplished that goal very well. I placed myself at the starting line a couple rows back because I saw just kind of, eyeing people. I saw a couple folks who looked like they were out there to compete. So I let them have the front, so I was a little bit further back, but not too far back that I would get stuck behind somebody. And in fact, the gun went off and folks from behind me passed me darting forward, which I thought was pretty amusing, but I let them go, of course. And so I'm very happy with accomplishing that one goal over the first portion of the race that I had broken down. Everybody was out probably in sub 5 pace for sure. There was maybe 30 something folks ahead of me and I'll come back to this in a second, but by the first mile I was probably in 50th place or so. So anyway, let's backtrack. Went out pretty decent. I kind of tried my hardest to hold back. It was so tempting to go with everybody. I felt good, right? That's kind of like what the trap is with the beginning of a 5K. Is that like you want to go. Like you're warmed up, been sitting on that starting line for quite a while. Actually, the start was kind of delayed this morning because they had incidents on the course. Which at this point I don't know what the incidents were, nor do I care, I guess. But it was kind of annoying to have to wait a little bit longer at the start. So goal one was accomplished. That was great. I played it very smart. So the second portion of the race was kilometers 2 and 3. And during those kilometers, my goal was to hold steady at the worst and pick things up at best. So one thing about this course that I learned during my warm-up is that it's pretty hilly and there's a pretty substantial downhill right before the end of the first mile. So like, I don't know, close to 2K or so, I think. So one of my strengths is running downhill. Nowadays, I do like going downhill. I have decent turnover for downhills, so I really went hard and used it. So that played into my advantage. And so at that point, I hit the mile one split at 5:20 something. I think it was like 5:28, something like that. Because they had clocks at each mile marker, so that was neat. And I was at the bottom of this substantial downhill. So I looked at that and I was like, all right, fine, great. I passed a bunch of folks going on that downhill. I was feeling strong. I was on my way to accomplishing that second goal of holding steady, if not go faster, in kilometers 2 and 3. Immediately after that big downhill was kind of a straight and then an uphill where a couple folks passed me. But I was not worried about that very much because I knew where my effort was during that uphill. I tried to not increase the effort too much and not overwork myself, overcook it, and kind of drain my tank, so to speak. So I let the folks who wanted to pass me, let them do their thing. Because soon after came a turn and then kind of like a straight and then a downhill. And you know it, by the downhill, I was passing those people again. So I think I played it smart there as well. Effort wise, I was holding steady and going faster. So I can't be mad at that. I think I hit that second goal of holding steady and pushing or picking things up. I don't know if I pushed the envelope quite yet. That's kind of kilometer 4, and that is what I had intended for kilometer 4. For that, so before that, we hit mile 2, the mile 2 marker. I think I came through, there was a clock again. I came through at 10:50. I think it was 10:50 approximately, give or take. The official results aren't up yet, but I'll probably confirm that later. So came through the 2 mile mark. So there was kind of like a windy, we did like a loop of like a 1 block basically. So going out was downhill, we turn, come back, uphill. By the time we came around by that uphill, I made a surge. I saw the folks who were passing me on the earlier uphills. I've kind of heard them kind of breathing behind me and kind of trying to get back up to me and pass me again. That's where I put in a surge and I said, I'm gonna go. And we're approaching, I think I hit the kilometer 3 into kilometer 4. I hit the K3 mark and go into K4. So, and that the theme for that was to go. By kilometer 4, you're starting to hurt, but no excuses. This is what you're here for today in this 5K. Kilometer 4 is where you have to be brave. And I think I was pretty damn brave there. I pushed. I kept going. There was this one guy who was kind of like breathing heavy, but like he was like really dropping his shoulders, like running like this. So I gave him advice and he listened to it. And I told him to kind of like square his shoulders up, relax them a little bit. And he did that. And I was like, all right, do you want to come with? And he was struggling. But he fixed his form and I hope he did well. I did see him later in the race. He went out hard and blew up. But anyway, that's besides the point. Kilometer 4, we're going back up towards the starting area. We do one big loop and then we turn into the local university's track. And then we do half a lap and into the finish line. So before that, I hit the kilometer 4 mark and I'm feeling good. I feel there's stuff left in the legs. There's a few folks up ahead who are carnage from going out too fast from kilometer 1. So I used them as motivation. There were 2 guys kind of together, and then one guy further up ahead and another guy further up ahead of him. And so my mission during that last K is to catch them all. I was out there trying to just kill. Not literally, please don't quote me on that. But I just kept moving. The legs kept giving. I think I paced the race pretty well for what it was. I mean, I was not expecting it to be to have as much elevation gain as it did. Strava says it was about 200 feet. It felt like more, but that can be wildly inaccurate. It is what it is. I'm sure we can have confirmation from the race folks. But so the last K, go on a mission. It hurts, but it's supposed to, and that's what I signed up for when I registered for the race. And so one thing, I've been talking in kilometers about this race, and since I didn't want to worry about a certain pace or a certain time, really. I mean, of course I would have liked to run my best time possible, but having pace that I know, which is minutes per mile, would kind of distract me from running my best. So I switched my watch to kilometers. So that's why I've been talking in kilometers. I do that because kilometers, minutes per K don't mean much to me. So I see my watch and it says 312 or it says 330. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't want to find out. I'm sure I could do some mental math and figure out what that would translate to race time wise, but I did not, and I don't intend to. I'm sure eventually I'll probably learn it, but as of now, it's working for me and I like it. It kind of helps me check out and disassociate from pace. So I had my watch display power, which is effort, a measure of effort basically, and that is done through a power meter that's kind of clipped onto my shoe. It's called a Stride, STRYD. It's a pretty neat device. If you can splash some cash on it, it's really neat to have, and it helps you not worry about pace. So I had the power and pace, and that was it. Pace and Ks. So I was just like, all right, well, look at that for whatever it is. I just know slightly faster, slightly slower. That's kind of what really it was helping me do. And so anyway, we're back in kilometer 5. I'm moving, I'm pulling people in. There's a slight climb towards the backside of the stadium, slight downhill, and so I was just pushing through all of it. Usually I push the downhills more, but I was just pushing the whole time. I was telling myself, this is it. This is what you sign up for. You're hurting, but make it count. And I was just moving. We came back around. There was a very sharp turn into the stadium, which was kind of annoying, and there was nobody there to direct folks to turn here. So there was me and that one last guy who was up ahead that I wanted to pass, and he was confused and I was confused. So, and then the one person was like, "Oh, right here, enter through this gate." There's no signage, but we figured it out. I passed him right at the entrance of the stadium. I sprinted. Well, it felt like sprinting. It probably wasn't much of a sprint, but I was moving faster than I had been previously. Brought it home. I look up at the clock towards the finish and I see 16:39, 16:40. I'm like, oh shit, this is great. My best 5K time on a flat course was a 16:40. So I'm right up there with my best that I've done ever over a hilly course. So super thrilled. I crossed the finish line. I see that I think I was in the top 10 whereabouts. And eventually I learned that I got top 2 in my age group, which I'm very happy with. They gave me an envelope for a gift card, which is nice. Got, post-race bananas and water and whatnot. But yeah, that was pretty much the 5K that I ran this morning. Very thrilled with it. Very big confidence booster going into the next couple weeks. I have a couple races coming up. One next Sunday, and one the Sunday after that, and one the Saturday after that. So it'll be good practice. I do think I left something in the tank. I think I closed very hard for a 5K. So I think that effort could have been spread out through other kilometers a little bit more. But that's a learning from today, and that's fine. I would rather go out slightly conservative and leave something than blow up. The blow up is a humbling experience that you don't need very often. I did that back in October, so I wasn't ready to do it again. And I think I'm in a much better place fitness-wise to take advantage, I guess, of the fitness that I've been building and to not be stupid in a race.
Okay, so this is the Strava activity for the Millersville Turkey Trot, which is the race that I ran. The official time was 16:40.3 or something like that. I was kind of stubborn and I kept on running past the finish line until my watch said 5K. I think due to GPS error, I ended up being a little bit short, I guess. But anyway, so I went over a little bit. Let's go over here and take a look at the map. Here, let me just slide this over here a little bit. And then, alright, this should be good. So, the green dot there is the start. We go uphill a little bit, around the south side, I guess, of the track. We go uphill a little bit, and then around here, slight downhill here. We come back towards the start. And then here is kind of like a big downhill. And we turn for this one short street and then uphill here. Do a bit of climbing. And then go around kind of rolling / flat for the most part. I don't know if rolling is the right word, but it's mostly flat. And then into a downhill on the street here. Then we come back around, and this is an uphill. What goes down must go back up, right? And then we go back up towards the track. We do that first loop again. So uphill, sort of flat, sort of downhill here. And instead of going back up to the finish, we go towards the track. And then this is that little sharp turn that I was talking about right here. It's kind of hard to take, but we get onto the track, kind of finish it with a little 200-meter finish sprint. So that was that. Let's go and take a look at the splits. These are the splits in miles that Strava just automatically does. So mile 1, mile 2, and mile 3. But I'm going to look at the kilometer splits, which are 337, 325, 318, 322, and 301. So it kind of just gradually got faster. Although kilometer 4 on paper, I guess, is slower than kilometer 3, but it also had a lot more climbing, 71 feet versus 21 feet. And you can kind of see it on the map here as well. You got some downhill there, but not as much climbing. This one's a little bit more steep. But, so yeah, that's that.
So that was that. This is the shirt that I got from the race. Very happy with it. I'm very thankful. Since it is Thanksgiving, we kind of like to express gratitude for things that we're thankful for. So I am thankful for the ability to run, the ability to get out there, have fun, push my body to its limits, find out what I can do, and enjoy the process. Doing all the work, the training, of course, the running, the ancillary work, the strength work, the lifting, the day-to-day things, the day-to-day decisions that I'm making to set myself up for success. I'm thankful that I have the ability to do all of that. I'm thankful that I have a healthy body. I did struggle with breathing issues for a while, since 2020, going into pretty much the first half of this year. So very thankful to have made progress on that and gotten to a place where I can run again and feel better running, feel better just at rest and be able to breathe normally again, which was quite annoying for quite some time. So definitely grateful for that, and grateful for whoever's watching this. So thanks for tuning in, and that's it. Have a good one. Bye.